Alright guys, today we're going to take a look at two different ways to finish our arm triangle. So, I see a lot of people struggling here to properly get the choke, and there's a couple of different ways you can make it a little bit easier for yourself in the finish. So let's start with the basics. So basically everyone agrees on positioning, but there's a couple of details here that you need to know to be able to finish this well. First of all, the arm that's going under the neck needs to be punched through far. So if we're just too shallow, so if there's a gap on this side, if there's a gap here on this side, I'm not going to be able to get any type of meaningful squeeze. Even if I start to choke now, I will not get real choking power in there. So what we do, we make sure the arm is punched through. You can just basically move your arm a little bit, pump it to get this gap closed. And as we move down, we're going to make sure that the gap stays closed. Yeah. So now we have quite good compression here. Now, that's our first basic that we need to take account of. Our second basic here is making sure that we keep this arm nicely locked against the head. And the way to do this is basically putting my dome against his dome in the position like this. Yeah. What we don't want is our head on the floor or something like here, because now we can use the elbow to go down and he will be able to get out of our squeeze. Yeah? So I'm going to lose a lot of power if I do it like that. So there's a couple of different ways to approach this, because of course my head is not immediately going to transport towards his head. I like to use my chin here as a kind of a hook. So if I'm doing this, I'm using my chin here as a hook. I'm even choking myself a little bit like this. If he tries to escape the arm now, it's quite easy for me to follow. And from here, I'm going to put my head against his head. I like to first try to finish in mount. To be honest, if your choke is good, you're going to be able to choke most people here from the mount. You don't need to step off. Sometimes you will have to. Some people are just really tough and maybe you're just not getting the positioning completely right. Then you might need to step off. But as a rule, I like to try to finish from mount first. So, those are the two basics that are going to be applied to any type of finish you're going to do here. I favor, in every single position to finish, I favor gable grips. I like to lock my hand like this, or I'm going to go reverse. I don't like to go for figure four grips, but because that loses the pulling power. I want to be able to pull my arm in. Okay? So, for our first finishing sequence, I'm going to keep the arms above the shoulder, right here. I'm going to lock right above the shoulder. I'm going to press my head against his head. And now, to finish, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull my elbow up. I'm basically just pulling it backwards towards myself, right there. We get a real nice finish. So maybe you can make some noise and then you can hear what I'm doing here. So here, we're already quite close, make some noise. And right there, we get the choke. So I'm basically just pulling back onto my lats. I'm just losing my lat muscles here to get some extra torque out of the choke. It's a really nice way to be able to finish that. Now, sometimes you'll run into the problem that this is not enough. We can opt to step off and start circling around, but again, that makes our position less stable. As a rule, I like to try to prevent that. So if you're struggling with this position when we lock above the shoulder, sometimes people have very flexible shoulders and things get a little bit tough. Then there's another option. So, same position. We're going to lock up the arm and I'm going to get my dome connected to his dome. We're going to punch the arm through, but this time I'm not going to lock above the shoulder. I'm going to go all the way down towards his shoulder blades. The more down I am here, the tighter it's going to be. And from here, we're already having a really, really deep choke. What this does is basically it lines my shoulder up all the way across his artery, so we get a lot more pressure on this side. The back, the problem with this is that it becomes more difficult to lock up the arm. So what you need to be careful of as we go down is that a lot of people have the tendency to move their head down as well, and this frees up the arm. Free up the arm? Right there. Yeah? So you need to be very careful with that. So really use the hook here, and as we go down, we're still going to go down towards the head, and from there we get a really, really nice squeeze going. Now let me show you from a different angle. So our first finish, one like this, where we lock above the shoulder, really get everything nice and tight. I'm going to lower my hips. I'm going to put my weight towards the floor. I'm going to pull my elbow back for the finish. Yeah. Our second finish, contrary to the first, I'm going to move my hands down. Everything is going to go down towards the shoulder blade, but my head needs to stay up because I don't want to lose the arm. From here we have a lot more ground to cover, but you will get a really tight squeeze there. Yeah? So 2 ways to finish our arm triangle. Let's try both and see what suits you best. Let's go.